Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome back to another NBA discussion. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors, who for the first time in like a decade will not be in the NBA playoffs. But with that being said, I think everything's going to be okay. Now, before we get going on this video, man, remember, for every 100 likes this video gets, I will be doing one push-up at the end of the video. So my last one got about 1,100 likes, so I'll be doing 11 push-ups. That'll be at the end of the video, man, as I try to, grow myself in the correct direction as I grow this channel in this content. So, man, leave that like, help me get my fitness on and everything, right, guys? Alrighty, so, Toronto Raptors. Let me just say, I remember the early days of the Raptors. Like, I remember the days when they had, like, Andre Bargnani, when they originally got, like, Chris Bosh, and just, like, this was a team that, when I first started watching basketball, was not very good. They've done an excellent job over the years, just becoming, like, that consistent overall, just, like, a team that you expect excellence out of, right? Now, with that being said, I do think there's a lot of underlying issues this previous season, or I guess current NBA season for the Raptors, that led to them not being very good this season. I think, obviously, man, like, not really being able to, like, go to Canada to play on their home court. I mean, pretty much essentially at that point, every game is an away game. Even there's not fans, just playing in a different stadium like it's an away game, right, man? So that obviously is going to affect any team. I know, like, Fred VanVleet said that he lost like 30 pounds because of getting COVID, and I don't care how athletic you are, I don't care who you are. If you lose 30 pounds so quickly, you're just not going to be the same player or person, right, man? So, obviously injuries and stuff like that, man, there's been a lot of issues with this team. So, with that being said, man, you guys picked one hell of a year to actually, I don't want to say take a year off, because obviously this team was trying to compete and stuff like that, but, you guys picked a good year to not be a good team. Because obviously this NBA draft class that we're getting into, it's one of like the deepest draft classes in a very, very long time. And you guys are going to get a good pick out of it. As of right now, their list says having like the 9th pick in the draft, something like that. And there's going to be a lot of really solid players available right there to really bolster up this roster. But before we do that, man, who do they have right now? Right now, the starting 5, assuming everybody's healthy, which really has not been the case at all during the season. Right now, they're looking at Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG, Pascal, and Ken Burch at center, with obviously Chris Boucher getting a lot of minutes at that center position. Now, when I look at that starting 5 and I look at the depth chart, it's so weird, because typically when you are a rebuilding team, or when you have a bad season or don't make the playoffs, like, you know exactly what your team needs to fix. I look at this starting 5 and like this team's home. I'm like, I don't know what to do to improve the roster. Now, one of the rumors kind of going on out there is the idea that, if Kyle Lowry does re-sign with the team at the point guard spot, then there could be a case for maybe DeMar DeRozan coming back to the Toronto Raptors to finish out his NBA career. I don't mind that idea. Now, with that to happen, for one, you got to be okay with OG going to the bench, because Pascal, I guess, could play the center position. You could have DeMar at the power forward spot, which he's actually played the majority of his minutes for the San Antonio Spurs, or you can have OG at the 4 and then have DeMar at the 3. I don't absolutely love that. I like Pascal at the 4 spot. I do not really like him at the center position. So you got to be okay with OG going to the bench. If DeMar DeRozan were to come to this team, he averaged like 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. The guy was an absolute beast this year for the Raptors. Or I'm sorry, for the Spurs. At least when he was playing like his peak basketball, right? Like towards the end, they kind of shut down a little bit. It wasn't really playing as much. So you guys let me know in the comment section below. Are you like open to DeMar coming back to this team, or are you just kind of like wanting to like put that in the past? Because that's kind of the two directions this team can go this season. It's going to be the team assuming that Kyle Lowry comes back, and then there's the team assuming that Kyle Lowry decides to go to a different team or sign somewhere else. He's asking for about $25 million a season. He's like 34, 35. So I mean, I assume he'll probably get somewhere from like a 2 to 3 year deal, maybe a team or player option on that 3rd year, worth roughly $20 to $25 million. Like, I believe that's going to be kind of the going rate for Lowry this NBA offseason, right? But beyond that, really the only thing that I could see this team really improving on is maybe the center position. And I don't say that with disrespect towards Chris Boucher. I think Chris Boucher, in my opinion, is one of the better centers in the NBA. I mean, he was an absolute beast on this NBA season. He is averaging, 14 points, 7 rebounds, but more importantly, about 2 blocks per game. In my opinion, like, the way he plays is kind of like a more mobile version of Serge Ibaka. Not as much muscle, but some of the things he can do out there, and some of the ways he moves with the basketball and stuff. I think a Serge Ibaka is kind of a nice comparison. But the role I really like him on is kind of like that 6-man role, a guy that, comes off the bench and give you that 14.7 rebounds and just be like that beacon of energy, that Montrezl Harrell that a good team needs to have to win a championship. Like, in my opinion, man, you really need a solid bench to win an NBA championship, right? So, Ken Birch is fine. I mean, he's blocked some shots, grabbed some rebounds. We all know who Ken Birch is, but I think really there is some room to maybe beef up that center position just a little bit, kind of like the Zubats for this team, you know? Because when the Toronto Raptors, obviously having Kawhi helped, but when they were playing some of their best basketball was when Serge Ibaka was having his career year about a season ago, right, man? So, yeah, who are some free agents that I would go for? I mean, you can go hit the trade market, maybe go for like a Miles Turner who would fit instantly with this team, but you're looking at trading some guys away to do so. I think this team would be okay going for like a Cody Zeller. And I know I say the word Cody Zeller, you might just be like, hey, that's like the most boringest name in NBA history. But sometimes that's just what you really need at that center spot. Like Cody Zeller, he just goes out there, knows his role, and he just does it well. I mean, that's what he's kind of been. I know he's had some injury issues and stuff this season with the Charlotte Hornets and stuff, but I just feel like that would be a good guy to have that center spot alongside Pascal Siakam. And then obviously, once Cody Zeller does this, grabs his few rebounds or whatever, you put in Chris Boucher, right? And it's all fine right there. So beyond that, I mean, I guess really the only biggest need I would say for this team at the moment. Well, okay, let's assume that Kyle Lowry goes to a different team. Then you're ultimately looking at having Fred VanVleet at the starting point guard spot. Gary Trent goes to the starting shooting guard spot. And then, with having Gary Trent, not really being a full-time starter, not being on the bench anymore, you really got to improve that roster a little bit, at least in that regard. And I think you can do that during, via the NBA draft or maybe sign a few vets out there. But let's assume Kyle Lowry goes to a different team. Then I'm thinking you probably are looking to get a backup point guard. Now, once Cade and Jalen are off the board, the point guard spot kind of falls off a little bit. I mean, there's still like some solid options there. I do like Malachi Flynn, by the way. So I think you could probably roll out with him for a season or two if you need to. But beyond him, looking in the draft, I think maybe like a Davion Mitchell would kind of be solid, just like a good knows how to play the game type of point guard that can run the second unit. But now if Kyle Lowry stays, then, you got Gary Trent coming off the bench again, which I don't know if I absolutely love that. I actually want him to become more of a starter. But assuming that he's coming off the bench, then he is a little undersized. I mean, I know Norman Powell played like some small forward and stuff for this team at times, being like 6'3", but Gary Trent's like 6'5". I like him at that 2 spot and stuff. Now, what I'm personally looking for, though, especially in this draft right now, it says they'd pick around like 8 or 9, is a guy that can play a little small forward, a little power forward. Now, if you get DeMar DeRozan, then you got OG that can handle that spot, and that'd be just absolutely epic to have. But let's assume DeMar doesn't come back or doesn't come into this team either. Then I'm probably looking towards a guy like a Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes being able to play that 3 or 4 spot in the NBA, I think would be a really solid player, a guy that, would probably take a few seasons to become like a big time name, but I think eventually he will actually be at least a really solid NBA starter. I don't know if he'll be like an all-star or anything like that, but he'll be a really good NBA player. So that's somebody they can kind of go for to kind of fix some issues out there and just give him some size out there too, right, man? I mean, right now they got Gary Trent playing the 3. They got Yuta playing the 4 spot. And I just think this team just needs some muscle, man. You just need some bigger framed guys out there. They originally got Aaron Baines to be that guy, and he just wasn't it, man, right? So, yeah, I think there's some minor tweaks that can really fix this team. So beyond that, man, I mean, the Toronto Raptors, assuming, guys stay healthy next season, I don't really see any reason they can't be in the mix to be, a top 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. I mean, this was definitely a season where there were a few teams out there that are typically, top of the conference that just didn't play all that well. I mean, you got the Toronto Raptors, obviously. You got the Boston Celtics, weren't exactly the greatest this year. Now they're going to make the playoffs and stuff, or at least the play-in tournament, and I expect some things out of them. You guys can check that out on my Jaylen Brown video that I just did the other day. But I don't know, man. I think you guys are in a pretty good place, and I keep on saying this. It's a good year to not be good. You just look at that super team, Brooklyn Nets, who we've not really seen a lot of yet because they've had their own health issues. That might be a video for another day and stuff. But regardless, you guys are going to be okay. I still think Nick Nurse is a fantastic coach. I just think there was some underlying issues that really held this team back. And yeah, man, you guys let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the Toronto Raptors? Do you feel like this is the team that can come back next season? Or is it maybe there's something more missing from the squad? Maybe it is time to go on a full-on rebuild and they have a lot of assets. Maybe you try to get something for them. Maybe you try to trade up in the draft. you guys let me know, man. But beyond that, that is going to be the end of today's video. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying these NBA discussions. I know they don't really get nearly as much views as the NBA 2K stuff, but I've actually been getting some more subscribers, which has been really nice. My 2K stuff, I've not really been getting subscribers on it anymore, so that shows me that people are not as interested in engaging in that type of content. So this has been a lot of fun to make, though, man. So yeah, that's all we got. If you guys got any NBA discussions or video ideas you guys want me to do, let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, man, 100 likes for the push-ups, which I am going to do now in a minute. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends. All right, man, like I said, man, 11 push-ups, guys. I want you down on the floor doing these push-ups also, man. We are all, a year of improvement, right, guys? 2020, 2021. This is the year right here, man. 11 push-ups. Do your best. Forget the rest. If you got to do these little knee ones, that's fine, too. But I'm going to do 11 poorly formed push-ups, and here we go, man. Oh, God. I did not stretch. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go, man. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, guys.